Hello, today CRATER are going to be speaking about the British Columbia Nature Tour, which is all our own photos and our evidence. So this is British Columbia, a place in Canada which is amazing for nature, animals and all sorts of other things which you're going to find out. So first of all we're going to look at the bears we saw. Now these bears are all grizzly bears. This is a grizzly bear which we saw through a telescope with a cub. This is the same one with a cub. And what they are doing is they're looking to the rocks to find clams. And when they find the clams, they're going to hit them and open them up and eat them. They also eat berries and salmon though. This is a hide when we saw a bear and a cub. They are near the salmon rivers, but we doubt they were eating salmon, given that they don't seem to be interested in the river. This isn't really salmon season anyway. Okay, now we're going to look at whales. These are killer whales, as you can see. They are amazing animals, and they live in pods. The adult, in other words, the alpha male, well, they're all adults, but the male is the alpha male, and you can tell by looking at its fin, which is 6 feet tall. Now, these beasts have never had any attacks with humans, but they are absolutely beautiful, and they are the top of the food chain from eating seals to eating great white sharks. This is evidence we got on a rib when we were in Victoria on Vancouver Island. You can see their blowholes as well. Now we're going to look at grey whales, a bit less violent. Grey whales are a little bit less exciting, we're going to see less of them, but you can see here a bit of them. That was a grey whale just coming up to sort of have a quick look, or maybe it was accidental. Here you can see slightly frothed water, but it's recently been up and blowing, and you might see it if you're lucky. Yeah, but that was the blowhole as it comes up, and we don't see the tail fins of these, but they don't go down in that way. That's only humpbacks, sadly. But grey whales are pretty amazing animals still. We saw them feeding. Sadly, we don't have the evidence of that, but it's essentially where they come up, open their mouth, and gulp down all the fish and then filter out the water. They also have a trap method where they put their mouth and open it up so the fish think it's safety. Then they go inside and then it closes, and it obviously gets lots of fish. Now, these, well, that was a big blow. These, we actually saw them feeding on this very boat, but we didn't have time to film it because it was pretty quick. But you can look up grey whale feeding and you'll see some amazing images. Grey whales are genuinely quite big animals. They are nowhere near as big as a blue whale, of course, but they are similar size to humpback, maybe slightly bigger. Kind of depends. They live pretty singular. But now let's look at sea otters. Not a type of whale, but amazing animals. This is a sea otter bathing. They like bathing. Now, you can see there is a sea otter, but what you don't know is that sea otters can be pretty amazing animals. Sea otters have a little, in their armpit, they have a little pocket where they store a stone, and that's the stone they use to break open the amazing clams. And how they do that is, you saw that there's lots of seaweed where they live, and what they do is they use the seaweed to climb down and find their clams or sea urchins, bring them up, and then use their rock to hit it against their chest to break it open. Then they can eat it. Now, this shows why the seaweed forests are so important, and that's why you see them living around the seaweed forest so much. Anyway, let's continue to the next part, which is the geography of the Bear Island, which is, by the way, where we were in Canada. So this is an amazing place. Now, these look like really good photos, but we surprisingly took these all. This is Echo Mountain, an amazing place for hearing your echoes. This is really tall mountains, over 600 feet. Here's one of the famous waterfalls where you'll find out about in history, the history part, which is essentially where the people in their huge kayaks came by to get sprayed in the water and thought they were sort of sacred water. These are the mountains. By the way, if you don't know why, the water's all turquoise because of glaciers, but in the winter the glaciers come down, making the water go all turquoise with a chemical inside it. Here's Echo Mountain again. It's a huge mountain. And this is some of the inlets. This is part of the inlets. Now, this is actually a view from the seaplane, which you'll find out a bit later. This is a view from the seaplane, and the history is got ancient people, which is called the First Nation, so you saw that totem pole just there. This is me driving the seaplane. Pretty embarrassing, but we actually got to fly the seaplane. I got to be the co-pilot. You can see me. This is some photos we got. We got to drive the seaplane because, of course, it's a CRATER video, so we must. This is above the clouds in the seaplane. This is the inlet to the seaplane of the Bear area. This is above the clouds still. Thank you. Please subscribe. If you want to know anything about bears, you can speak to me about it, or any type of whales, you can speak about it on the post. Thank you so much. See you soon.